Hi, everybody. Dan Schulman in Toronto. Jay Billis, through the magic of television and very long strides, is with us now in Bristol, having just completed College game day. He's doing double duty today. Jay, what are you looking for in this game between the Tar Heels and the Seminoles?
Well, Dan, as you know, North Carolina has an excellent front court. Big guys that can really rebound. The question is their guards because they're young. So North Carolina has to take care of the ball. They turn it over 1 out of every 5 possessions. So they can't let Florida State get out and transition off turnovers where they can't guard it. And they've got to run good offense. A bad shot is essentially the same as a turnover. And a lot's going to fall on these young guards. And for Florida State, because North Carolina is such a great rebounding team, they've got to rebound all 5 guys to the glass. And then after they're done rebounding, they have to rebound some more. Get your rear end to the glass.
Tough place to come in and win. Leonard Hamilton's team has won 19 consecutive home games in conference play. Really impressive in a conference as good as, of course, as the ACC is. There a limited number of fans in Tallahassee today. We believe between 2,500 and 3,000, something like that. Carolina comes in having won 3 in a row, all of them close. Florida State is 2-1 in league play. They had an unbelievable outing against North Carolina State midweek, winning 105-73. Hardly missed a shot, it seems, and they are underway in Tallahassee. Look at the Florida State lineup with some changes. They've lost some very good players from last year, but some experience returning as well, specifically guys like M.J. Walker, Anthony Polite. Really, you look at this group, Jay, they are versatile, they are experienced, and they know exactly what Leonard Hamilton wants.
And there are 5 other good players behind them. And for Leonard Hamilton, developing players 6 through 10 is going to be the challenge going on the rest of the season. But you're going to see multiple Seminoles coming at you for 40 minutes, and it's going to be full court.
A couple of freshmen in the backcourt in Caleb Love and Kerwin Walton for Carolina, with Leaky Black, Harrison Brooks, and Armando Bacot up front. Brooks and Bacot both recorded double-doubles in Carolina's win over Syracuse midweek.
So Carolina, those 3 straight wins they've had. In those 3 wins, Carolina did not crack 40% from the field. Not 40% from 3, 40% from the field. And that's why Florida State's got to do a great job on the defensive glass to keep Carolina from getting so many second chance opportunities.
Walton knocks down the jumper, and the freshman from Hopkins, Minnesota, getting more and more playing time. And Jay, he's probably their best shooter.
He's not probably that. He's their best shooter. I mean, 16 of 21, 16 of his 22 field goals now are from 3 points. So you got to get him inside the line, but you can't sell out like Florida State did on that last one. Gamble and give him a shot from the catch spot.
Boy, good ball pressure there for Caleb Love and the Tar Heels. The Hall of Famer Roy Williams brings his team in at 8-4, coming off a tough season last year, had a ton of injuries. There's a lot of talent on this team, but there's a lot of youth. Of the 10 players in the rotation, 6 of them are freshmen.
That's a good job by
down with the rebound. He's important today.
And a good job by by Florida State in sending all 5 guys to the glass. You have to gang rebound against North Carolina because their big guys just play volleyball in the backboards. Armando Bacot, Garrison Brooks, Day'Ron Sharp, all those guys averaged 3 or more offensive rebounds a game. That's extraordinary to have one guy average 3. To have 3 guys average 3, that's big time.
Yeah, that's how you win games when you don't shoot that well. You just get so many more shot attempts than the other team because of the offensive rebounding. As Raekwon Gray, the redshirt junior from Fort Lauderdale, knocks it down. We mentioned Roy Williams is a Hall of Famer. Congratulations to Leonard Hamilton, who was on the Naismith Basketball Memorial Hall of Fame's finalist list for the first time. A guy who really has been a trailblazer in a number of respects at a number of spots in his career and has built this Florida State program up, Jay, where you look at the numbers in recent years, they're right there with the likes of Virginia, Duke, and Carolina.
It's ridiculous how good Florida State has been without really getting the credit for it, because it seems like Duke, North Carolina, and lately Virginia have taken all the air out of the room in regards to this discussion of the best team. But Leonard Hamilton, 5th all-time in ACC victories for a coach, and that list he's on as top 5 is incredible.
As the shot clock was running down, a turnaround jump hook by Armando Bacot. Carolina's leading scorer and rebounder, but the Tar Heels back on top by 2.
And when Baycott keeps things simple, and Roy Williams has talked to him about simplifying and making the easy play, not the spectacular one, and easy can be spectacular if you do it over and over again.
M.J. Walker making that three look easy, a guy who's been a real mainstay for the Seminoles for a couple of years, but with the departure of such good players like Devin Vassell, Trent Forrest, Patrick Williams, Walker has stepped into an even larger role this season. Double team on Baycott. They made that really tough on him.
I give credit to Koprivica right there because he forced Baycott to fall away from the basket instead of going into his body. That was big-time defense.
Gray dribbling into traffic, turns it over. But Carolina cannot capitalize at the other end.
Caleb Love's got to go off 2 feet there. He can't just go up without getting fouled and throw up that kind of shot. He's too good of a player. But that's gonna be experience for him. Get an angle to the basket and go up into the contact where you get fouled first, and then you have the opportunity to make the shot. But going off 1 foot here and messing with the ball like that to put in your left hand and getting challenged like that isn't the way to get fouled.
A top 20 recruit coming in, and he hasn't had the results that he would like so far in his freshman year. The shooting numbers specifically haven't been good. This is a guy who in high school, so talented, so athletic, could get any shot he wanted to, and obviously he's finding life a lot different running the point at the Division I level.
Well, he's taken 139 shots now in his young career, and he's missed 102 of them. But he's a really good player that's going to get much better. It's just a question of, like, when he was in high school, he's so strong and so athletic that he could get to the rim anytime he wanted and score. But now it's a question of shot selection, and he takes the most shots on the Carolina team by a good number. He's taken over 28 shots more than any of his teammates, but it just needs to be more efficient, and it will be over to overtime.
Well, a tough place to inbound the ball from for Anthony Polite, but he gets it in to Raekwon Gray with 12 on the shot clock for the Seminoles.
How good was Raekwon Gray against NC State? He was fabulous.
Raekwon Evans was very good as well as he banks one in. Everybody who played for Florida State was fabulous against NC State during the week. 105-73. They shot 71% in that game, the best they've ever shot in an ACC game. Made 12 out of 18 threes, and everybody who got in was on fire that night.
Yeah, Raekwon Evans had 24 in that game. He's averaging 16 points in ACC games.
Koprivica down with a rebound off the miss. And here comes Walker. And Carolina picking up some early fouls in this game.
Well, they didn't get back with a sense of urgency to stop the ball. That was the problem there. And M.J. Walker just able to take it right at him. And terrific hesitation here by Raekwon Evans. And his last 3 games, he's really been excellent. 5 of 8 from three-point range, 62%. And not a lot of people know this, but he was named after Raekwon from the Wu-Tang Clan. Cash rules everything around me, Dan Schulman.
Well, we knew that. But Raekwon Gray wasn't. Just Raekwon Evans was, is what you're saying.
Could be both. You never know. That's how important Raekwon is to the Wu-Tang Clan.
He's gone to the bench, by the way. And one guy we don't expect to see today is Scotty Barnes, the outstanding freshman for the Seminoles who rolled his ankle against NC State. Generally has been a starter, has not been in there yet, and there's Barnes, and obviously he is not going to play today, so we will not get to see one of the great young talents in Leonard Hamilton's program. We will talk a little bit more about the difference being made by Leonard Hamilton and Florida State when we come back. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by H&R Block. Their experts can do your taxes virtually. Get your taxes done without leaving home. Florida State rotation on the court.
Yeah, because he can really offensive rebound. Malik Osborne led Florida State in offensive rebounding last year. He is again this year. But I think what's been so interesting about the times we're living in for basketball players in college is how multifaceted we've learned these players are. And they're smart, they're engaged, and they want to make a difference in their communities, and are. And for North Carolina, Mondo Baycott is on the Players Coalition that was set up by the National Association of Basketball Coaches. I've actually been on a conference call with him, and another really smart and engaged young man that gets it.
That's terrific to hear. M.J. Walker with his second 3 of the game as the Seminoles extend the lead. Preseason, Florida State was picked 3rd in the ACC, Carolina 4th, Virginia was 1, Duke was 2. It appears to be a really wide open conference right now. You got Clemson and Louisville up at the top. Clemson's got a big game later today on ESPN against Virginia. Louisville's at Miami on the ACC network. And then, Jay, on Monday night, it'll be Louisville hosting Florida State in what should be a terrific game.
Yeah, it is far more wide open than I think it's been since the 1960s for the ACC, largely because Duke, Carolina, and to an extent Virginia are not quite as powerful as they've been. But to the point of North Carolina, that last shot that Caleb Love took was taken in rhythm, in the flow of the offense. That's the kind of player he can be. He's a really good player that just hasn't played well yet, but he's going to.
And his three-point shooting numbers have been getting a little bit better bit by bit. This is the 5th consecutive game now in which he's made at least 1 3. Garrison Brooks from the baseline, and he knocks it down. As we mentioned, coming off a really good game against Syracuse, 16 points, 10 rebounds, and maybe most importantly to Roy Williams, because they hand out a Defensive Player of the Game award after every game. Brooks was the recipient. It's the 3rd time this year he's won the award, and Roy's really been looking for a lot of his players to play better defensively, and he has admitted he holds Garrison Brooks to a higher standard because he's an upperclassman and because of the quality of guy that he is.
And he's played at such a high standard over his career. I mean, he got it defensively from day one, and great positioning, great understanding of the game. But I'm not sure there's a big guy in the country that has had more on his shoulders the last 2 years than Garrison Brooks has had on his. Largely because last year, I mean, Cole Anthony was injured seemingly the whole year. This year he's got young freshman guards that they're having to deal with, and what a great leader I think Garrison Brooks is, and just a stud basketball player.
4th turnover committed by Florida State. Right now it's basically a 3-man rotation for the 2 big spots for Carolina, with Baycott, Brooks, and the freshman Day'Ron Sharpe. You'll see a little bit of another freshman, Walker Kessler, in there, but for the most part, Coach Williams is alternating 3 guys at the 2 spots, and they're all comfortable playing with each other. Sharpe is a terrific passer. Brooks is a very willing passer as well. And Brooks gets a touch in deep on the feed from Sharpe, and he'll be headed to the free throw line.
Just a simple little action. Both big guys were around the elbow area, and as the ball was being reversed, Garrison Brooks just took his man down after setting that ball screen and posts him up. And to your point, Day'Ron Sharpe, a really good passer for a big guy, and Florida State has to get pressure on him, make him turn his back, or Carolina will be able to pick apart that Florida State defense.
Sharpe's had a couple of monster games recently, including one against Notre Dame, 25 points and 10 rebounds in a 1-point win over the Irish. And back to Garrison Brooks, again a senior, the preseason pick for ACC Player of the Year, has had big numbers in his career. As you mentioned, Jay, just a totally different team, really, a totally different situation for him between last year. They threw it in there on almost every play to him because they didn't have really many other options last year. Now they've got other options up front, very young guards in the backcourt, so it's a whole new process for Garrison Brooks this year.
Yeah, I don't think going into last year that Roy Williams expected for Garrison Brooks to be their best player and leading scorer, but he was, and he's their most reliable player.
Malik Osborne with a block on the layup attempt as Brooks gets a breather.
And Brooks is coming off, I think, his best game that he had against Syracuse, going against that 2-3 zone. He had 16 points and 10 rebounds. That's his 13th career double-double. But he had 18 points against Texas, 17 against Iowa. I mean, he's a really good player, but these guards are the ones that have to continue to improve for North Carolina to be as good as they can be.
Love has gone to the bench. This is R.J. Davis into the game, and he knocks down the jumper. The freshman from White Plains, New York, averaging about 8.5 points per game. Also looking to bring up the efficiency, bring up the shooting numbers, but he's a guy who can get hot and score in bunches.
Well, completely under control. He's got a great stroke, quick in the open floor. And both he and Caleb Love have been shooting very well in practice. And it's not because they're 3 o'clock shooters, as guys like to say. They can do it in practice, but not in the games. They can do it with the lights on. But boy, they've been under control in just about everything they've done in this game, and that's made a difference.
Davis wide open, misses the 3. And down with the rebound is Evans. Carolina in the midst of a 9-0 run. Florida State has airballed its last 2 3-point attempts.
A lot of dribbling for Florida State, but Carolina's done a good job on them defensively. They've gotten back in transition and forced Florida State to play 5-on-5 in the half court.
3-point attempt for Nathaniel Jack, a senior from Mississauga, Ontario, by way of the junior college ranks. And then a reverse layup underneath for Tenor Ngam, a 7'2" senior from Senegal who spent the last 3 years playing at Ryerson University in Canada. Jay, you and I saw him when we did the Duke Canada Tour a couple of years ago. He played against Zion Williamson, R.J. Barrett, actually had 12 points and 6 rebounds in that game for Ryerson, playing under Roy Rana. And now as a senior, he has come south to play in Tallahassee.
That year we saw Ngam play for Ryerson. That was his first year of organized basketball, which is really remarkable. And I wonder in Mississauga if he has been to the great restaurant that you took me to. That really blew my mind. I did not know that Canada had that type of restaurant. I really appreciate you taking me there.
Yeah, I didn't know Subway was a chain. I thought it was just like a one-off that we had up there. So you're welcome. And of course, Jay had no Canadian money, so I picked up the tab. So. Playtech lobs it up, and a shot clock violation is the ruling against the Tar Heels, much to the chagrin of Roy Williams. 2-point lead for the Tar Heels in Tallahassee. We go inside the ACC when we come back. ESPN. Dan Schulman, Jay Billis, glad you're along with us at the outset of a great Saturday day and night of college basketball action here on ESPN. And as we talked about a little bit in the last segment, the ACC appears to be wide open right now. Louisville and Virginia are on top at 4-0. Louisville's at Miami later. Virginia's at Clemson later in a great game. Don't sleep on the Hokies. They are 4-1. They've got some big wins already. Duke will be at Pittsburgh on Tuesday, and here you see a couple of teams in Florida State and Carolina, and you can see the significance of this game, Jay. A win for either team, and they kind of vault themselves up into the upper tier.
Yeah, this obviously all games are important when you get to conference play, but this is an important game, especially for Florida State, because I think Florida State has a legit chance to win this league. But playing without Scotty Barnes, if he is unable to play at all, is going to be difficult to overcome against a really big front line of North Carolina that can really rebound.
So Barnes out, as you can see, rolled his ankle during the game against NC State. Malik Osborne tries to save but can't. Barnes thought he had. His teammates love the effort. That's about 5 high fives for almost saving the ball. But, boy, if you're going to play for Florida State, and it's really no different for Carolina or many other programs, you're going to play hard. Like in Leonard Hamilton's case, as you said, Jay, 10, 11 guys. Leonard always wants a lot of players, and his players ask out of the game sometimes. Go as hard as you can for as long as you can, and then come sit on the bench.
Well, that's what he expects, is that you. What a play by MJ Walker. Oh, what a play. I'm not sure there's a player in the ACC that has overcome more than MJ Walker, and he's been so patient in order to play his best basketball late in his career the last 2 years. I mean, he was a McDonald's All-American. And I think Stan Jones, one of the truly great assistant coaches in college basketball, says he's playing at peace now the last couple of years. And I think that's a great way to put it.
Puff Johnson into the game for Carolina, the younger brother of Cam Johnson. That was him who just missed the three and then picked up the foul.
MJ Walker, the senior, this is like a great defensive back playing the eyes of the passer, and he's playing the ball the whole way. He never saw R.J. Davis going after that ball. He just played the ball. What a spectacular defensive play by MJ Walker. Maybe that was his football background, because he was a great high school football player. He got recruited by Michigan, Clemson, University of Miami. I mean, he was a big-time football prospect.
Sadar Calhoun into the game, a junior college transfer, number 24 in white for the Seminoles. Leonard Hamilton has talked about still getting comfortable with his rotation as Raekwon Evans gets a very friendly bounce. Coach Hamilton, one of just about every coach in college basketball who has said, we didn't have an exhibition game. We didn't have a secret scrimmage. It's not been a normal year. And Leonard Hamilton freely admits he's not as comfortable with his rotation as he usually is at this point of the season. Baycott inside and a chance for three.
it's going to be so difficult for Florida State to keep the ball out of the hands of these big guys in the lane because they play angles so well. Terrific job of setting that screen and rolling to the basket by Armando Bacot. But if you're not going to get pressure on the passer, they're going to be able to pick you apart. It's kind of like a quarterback, like Aaron Rodgers, not having a rush against him. He's going to pick you apart. And I know you like hearing that, Dan Schulman.
Yeah, I do.
Packers fan, going against the Rams today, that he's going to be able to pick a defense apart.
Yes, I appreciate that. That was very noble of you, and hopefully foreshadowing as well. Back and forth they go in Tallahassee. Dan Schulman, Jay Billis, a 1-point lead for the Seminoles over the Tar Heels. Florida State's beaten Carolina each of the last 2 times the Tar Heels have come to Tallahassee as Walker dribbles it off his foot and turns it over.
Part of that was the defense by Leaky Black, one of the best defenders not only in the ACC but in the country.
Caleb Love back into the game along with Kerwin Walton. Nice look into the corner, but Walton can't get the 3 off. And now a Carolina turnover sends the big fella Raekwon Gray the other way, and he draws the foul.
A good thing he got fouled from a Florida State perspective because he was getting ready to walk with that ball. Tried a Euro step, but it was off the wrong foot to start. Raekwon Gray has been so good for Florida State. He's just a jack of all trades for the Seminoles. A little crossover, tries to come back, but got fouled and sort of bailed out of a difficult situation. But you admire how aggressive that he was taking that ball to the hoop. A big body, skilled, he can handle it, he can pass it. And I think he's a capable shooter. He's just not been hitting to the level that he can.
Yeah, he's got a different skill set, as you say, than you would assume he has just when you look at him, being the big fella that he is. 6'8", 260. By all accounts, really taking ownership of his conditioning at another level this year. Leonard Hamilton feels there's still a little work to be done in terms of trimming down a bit, but he feels his best basketball is ahead of him.
And he's got a great feel defensively. When you watch him on tape, he will get into passing lanes. He's got really quick hands to be able to get deflections, knock the ball away, and plays really hard at both ends of the floor.
By the way, the foul, Jay, was on Leaky Black, his second, but he remains in the game. Long shot, long rebound, but out of bounds to Florida State.
Florida State.
And this is an area, I'm sorry, Jay, go ahead.
Well, I mean, Florida State's one of those teams, Dan, that I think as the season goes along, because of what you were talking about before about Leonard Hamilton and feeling comfortable with rotations, they've got so many good players that they're going to continue to get better and better. And the development of essentially their second group is going to determine whether they're ACC champs or not.
NcaaAF, it won't stay down for him, but he does draw the foul. Boy, that's a guy making Bacot look small. Bacot's 6'10", 240, but NcaaAF is 7'2", and he just was able to shoot over him.
And NcaaAF is really starting to come along. He, according to some of the things you were talking about before, about the difficulties with the pandemic, he had difficulties with his visa in coming to Florida State. And so his conditioning at a high level is a little bit behind, but he's really starting to catch up. And he's really, at some point, I think, going to be a pick and pop big guy where he can knock down a perimeter shot and be reliable doing it.
Born in Senegal, spent some time in both Germany and Spain, came to Canada, as Jay mentioned, very late picking up the game. Did not really start playing, high-level organized basketball until he was 17, 18 years of age. Spent 3 years at Ryerson in Toronto, and now playing this year in Tallahassee. A pretty smooth stroke from the line.
Yeah, he can shoot it. And as he continues to get better, I mean, you're going to see him block a lot more shots because he's long and athletic, and you're going to see him knock down, being a pick and pop big guy.
And he blocks that floater by Love. Now Love for 3. And NcaaAF with a rebound, giving the Seminoles some good minutes off the bench.
When Florida State picks up its defensive intensity, they can speed up North Carolina and speed them up in a negative way for the Tar Heels. They start going faster in their half-court offense. Carolina wants to play fast from end to end, but they don't want to be in a hurry, as John Wooden used to say, be quick but don't hurry, and they've been hurried.
Raekwon Gray with a long 2, and the lead grows to 7 for the Seminoles.
Well, just what we talked about. Like, Raekwon Gray has not shot the ball well this season, but he's capable of it.
And Florida State shooting 61% from the field, 8 for 13. Carolina's had a lot more attempts, 19, but they've only made 6 of them. And here comes the cavalry. There are always new guys ready to come in for Florida State.
If you give Raekwon Gray some space because you're worried about the drive, which Armando Bacot was, this year he's going to take that shot and he's more likely to make it. You know, he's had some, I would call him confidence issues with his shooting. I think he's a really good shooter. But Stan Jones had mentioned to me early on in the season, he said he's got a little bit of a Steve Sachs throwing to first problem. And that's going back a ways, isn't it? Remember when Steve Sachs had a problem going to first?
Sure.
But he's really overcome that. Not Steve Sachs, Raekwon Gray.
Andrew Platek misses the 3, tips it back out to Garrison Brooks, who knocks it down, and a much-needed bucket for Carolina.
Garrison Brooks is one of the most respected players in college basketball by his opponents. I mean, he's gonna give you everything he's got every single game.
And coming off 16 and 10 against Syracuse, Brooks already with 7 here this afternoon for the Heels. And he does a good job staying in front of Gray. And now another 3 goes down for Florida State as they extend the lead to 8. MJ Walker again.
Well, it looked like North Carolina was in a 2-3 zone, but they weren't. They were in man, but Florida State was just not moving. That's why it looked like a little bit of a zone.
How about MJ Walker? 3 threes, 11 points already. And now good hands by Walker as he takes it away from Sharp.
Boy, he had to guard Sharp down in the low post. He was trying to front him and just sit on his legs. And was so disruptive, he wound up getting the turnover.
Shot fake, kick, Gray for 3. Boy, beautiful offense. Gray just can't knock down the shot.
MJ Walker does a great job of hunting his shot. He moves without the ball, and his shot preparation is excellent. Look how he plants. He was ready to shoot before the ball ever got there.
Of the midseason 25 players in action today on the family of networks, including Jared Butler at 4 Eastern in Lubbock. Sam Hauser at 6 Eastern as Virginia is at Clemson. And then there are not 1, not 2, but 3 Zags on the midseason top 25 list. Suggs, Kispert, and Timmy as they will take on St. Mary's 10 o'clock Eastern tonight.
All fantastic players and all worthy of the Wooden Award presented by Wendy's. And all will be clapping for Luka Garza of Iowa when he wins it.
That's right. That's right. He gave a very nice interview with you guys on game day today. He was in his hotel room in Evanston getting ready for a game against Northwestern tomorrow, and thanked you guys for the honor you bestowed upon him with an interview on game day earlier today.
Well, he's nice enough to acknowledge what an honor it is to be among that crew. But how about LaFonso Ellis doing the homework to find out that Luka Garza shattered a backboard at Fran McCaffrey's home at a pool party?
Yeah. Impressive stuff. Walker at the line. Already 12 points for the senior from Riverdale, Georgia. A perfect day from beyond the arc. 3 for 3, and one of the best free throw shooters in the country this year. So here it comes.
He's automatic.
No jinx.
He does not miss. I mean, he's shooting, 93, 94%.
Yeah.
And it's hard for your percentage to go up, but his may very well go up as the season goes along because he's such a prepared player.
He is now 44 for 47 from the free throw line on the season. The Seminoles on a 20-5 run, and they lead by 11.
The issue
it looks like in the backcourt for Carolina, Jay, that Roy Williams, as Davis is left wide open and knocks down the 3, we've kind of seen him sub in pairs in the backcourt. Love has been in with Walton at times, although Walton's still in there right now. But whenever Davis comes in, Love goes out. Platek comes in as well. I don't think we've seen Love and Davis in at the same time so far for the Tar Heels.
Well, that's putting a lot of youth in charge of the ball. You might want to have some older handlers out there, but Caleb Love, I think we talked about it, both Caleb Love and RJ Davis are going to be excellent players, and they're good now, but I think the error rate is so much higher right now because of their youth, and guys mature at different rates, and they're not as prepared for what they're having thrown at them as some other point guards that Roy Williams has had in the past that he's thrown in as freshman. Marcus Page was one of those. I think Bobby Frazier started as a freshman. But these guys, it's taken them a little bit longer. Ultimately, they'll get there.
The number 3 ranked recruiting class in the country, 6 players deep, 5 of them ranked in the top 100. The only one who wasn't is Kerwin Walton, who's playing extremely well, has really made a name for himself because he can do this as he knocks down the 3. Thank you, Mr. Walton, right on cue.
You cannot let Walton shoot the ball from the catch spot. And it doesn't matter what else is going on the floor. If you're going to come off him, you have got to close out to him and make him put it on the deck.
A rejection there by Day'Ron Sharp, the highest ranked player of this incoming class. 3 top 20s, 5 top 100s, but a very, very young team. One of the youngest teams in the country, and the inevitable growing pains that come with that. Wow, deep one from the corner for Polite.
Well, you talk about a guy you cannot let shoot it from the catch spot. Anthony Polite is one of those guys. I mean, he's shooting over 50% from 3 on the season.
Walton the miss. Day'Ron Sharp taps it back in. I said to you during the last time out, Carolina, they've kind of been contained a little bit on the offensive glass. It's such a big part of their offense, but they get a putback bucket there from Sharp.
If North Carolina gets a shot within the rhythm of their offense, then they're going to offensive rebound it if they miss it. The reason they hadn't been getting as many, there have been some longer rebounds, but they weren't getting shots within the offense. Early on they did, but then Florida State put on that run where they really got out and pressured and really pushed North Carolina further out, sped them up.
How about the half Raekwon Gray is having as he knocks down another one. He's up to 8 points now for the Seminoles, which is above his season average.
A lot of dribbling right now from North Carolina. Look how far out on the floor they are.
Look at the big guys out on the perimeter. Koprivica dribbling out beyond the three-point line and eventually turned it over. And here comes Davis weaving his way through traffic for the layup.
Well, you make a bad offensive play on one end, and Koprivica can handle it. He just took it into a bad spot, turned it over, and all of a sudden North Carolina is playing ahead of the Florida State defense. I mean, that's an easy basket that, it's good defense by North Carolina, but Florida State has to feel like they gave that one away.
Weak side rebound by Koprivica.
Got away with a little push. A subway push.
Walker, not this time. And an easy rebound for Davis as the Heels try to get a little bit closer.
A shot that Walker can make, but not a good shot.
Nice touch pass into the corner from Brooks to Walton, and suddenly it's a three-point game.
Walton is such a good shooter and does such a great job with catch and shoot. With standstill jumpers, when he's prepared, it is absolute money. So you have to make a shooter drive. He is a shooter. Make him drive it. And so far, Florida State's not done that. An excellent pass by Garrison Brooks. Can't get there in time, and Walton having a game. UCLA used to say that.
Years in the making. The first round TKO from McGregor back in September of 2014.
6 years in the making usually means money. Money was the deciding factor.
How long do you think you last in the octagon with either one of those gentlemen?
The question is, how long would they last with me?
Oh.
I fight dirty.
Step back three, left short by Osborne, and back on the Tar Heels, who have made 6 of their last 8 field goal attempts to get back within 3. Brooks with another nice pass. 3rd assist of the game for Brooks on the bucket by Baker.
Boy, talk about playing through your big guys. Those big guys for North Carolina are doing a great job of passing to one another. But out of that timeout, I can't imagine that Leonard Hamilton and his staff wanted a step back 3 from Malik Osborne. I mean, he was 1 of 11 from 3 going into that shot, and he can make it, but I don't think that was the shot they wanted.
Walker, Love anticipates that pass beautifully and picks it off.
Well, this has been punch,
we got a
counterpunch,
tie,
hasn't it?
held ball.
North Carolina doing such a good job when they get the ball to one big guy of looking to the next big guy right away. And I know I've made the point before, but if you don't have great pressure on the ball, that was thrown right over Raekwon Gray. Just a great pass by Garrison Brooks.
And neither of the 7-footers that Florida State has on its roster are in the game right now. So Gray and Osborne are both giving up a little bit of size to Bacot and Brooks. Carolina in the midst of a 15-5 run. Platek misses the three, kept alive by Bacot. Out to Love. Count it! And Carolina's got the lead.
Best time to shoot a three is off an offensive rebound because the defense is thinking about moving to offense. They're not thinking about playing more defense.
Boy, last couple of trips, kind of vintage Carolina, AJ, with the high-low passing between the big guys, and then a big guy in Bacot tipping it to himself, kicking it out, and they knock down a shot.
And I think Leonard Hamilton's going to say, look, Carolina's running good offense, but it's because the Seminoles are not impacting the ball. They are not making North Carolina feel them defensively.
Love off his foot, scrambles to recover, and then lost it again.
How did he get that ball?
Up top, Osborne can't finish, but there is a foul call.
The pass was late, but Osborne able to get fouled by Walton as he went up, just went right underneath him. But Caleb Love should have had this ball. Should have had it a number of times, and an excellent job by Gray to come away with it, and then wound up getting an advantage situation for Florida State, 2-on-1 going the other way.
Gray has had a heck of a half for the Seminoles. 10 points, 2 rebounds, couple of assists.
I think his best game,
Malik Osborne. I'm sorry,
Raekwon Gray's best game that I saw. He was really good against Indiana. He had 12 points, 9 rebounds, 4 or 5 assists in that one, if I remember right. He just played a really good floor game against a team in Indiana that's played such a tough schedule. I think IU is way better than their record.
Florida State a perfect 10 for 10 from the line. And make it 11 for 11. They were perfect in their last game, too, against NC State. 11 for 11 in each of the last 2 games. The Jeep halftime report is coming up. Reese Davis, LaFonso Ellis, Seth Greenberg to tell you all about this great and busy Saturday day and night of college basketball action.
Can't pick up your dribble out there.
Davis and Love in the game together now in the backcourt for the Heels. Again, the high-low. Brooks runs it down, has it tipped away, hits the deck and gets it back. And eventually a shot clock violation called on the Tar Heels.
Florida State really rallied to the ball. Just a mishandled pass, high-low going diagonal from left to right on the lane line. And a terrific job by Raekwon Gray from behind to poke that ball away from Garrison Brooks. Otherwise, Brooks would have scored, got fouled, or both, I think.
So about 5 seconds separating the game clock and the shot clock here near the end of the first half in a 2-point game with Florida State leading.
Overall, North Carolina's taking care of the ball against a very good Florida State defense.
Evans up top, the senior from Billings, Montana. Now he drives off the glass and good. And now a turnover. Calhoun misses the shot. Time for Carolina to get a shot off, but it won't go as the Seminoles come up with the final basket of the first half. And again, Roy Williams not thrilled with that. But it's a ball game, 4-point lead for the Seminoles over the Tar Heels. We invite you to join us for what should be a great second half. But first, the Jeep halftime show. Let's send it back to Reese. Presented by H&R Block. An entertaining first half. MJ Walker with a very nice first half for the Seminoles. He's the high scorer in the game with 14. Raekwon Gray also in double figures. A game of runs to a certain extent. Raekwon Gray had a nice half. Carolina sharing the ball. The big guys sharing the ball very nicely as we take a look at the first half stats brought to you by Ally. And how about 66% shooting for the Seminoles over their last 3 halves of basketball. And they haven't missed a free throw over their last 3 halves of basketball as well. But you know what? We got a game. 4-point game. Florida State over North Carolina. Dan Schulman, Jay Billis. Jay, did it play out kind of like you were expecting in the first half?
Well, if you go back to the keys of the game that I gave you, Dan, and why wouldn't you? North Carolina did a good job of taking care of the ball and for the most part ran really good offense. They only turned it over 6 times in that first half. The last turnover of the half was not a good one. Roy Williams not happy about that at all. But they did a good job of getting the ball inside to their big guys. For the most part, took good shots. They didn't let Florida State get out in transition. And for Florida State, they were even with Carolina on the glass. They gave up 7 offensive rebounds, but you're not going to shut them out completely. I just think Florida State has to do a better job of getting into North Carolina and pressuring them a little bit more in the second half, because Carolina did a pretty darn good job of handling that pressure in the first.
Very balanced scoring for Carolina first half. 5 players with between 6 and 8 points in the first half, and an early turnover committed by the Seminoles. Leonard Hamilton's team 6-2 on the season, 2-1 in the league. Roy Williams' team 8-4 on the year, 3-2 in the league. And interestingly, all 5 of Carolina's league games have been decided by 6 or fewer points. And he freely says we could be 5-0, we could be 0-5. They're 3-2 right now.
And they've been tougher at the end of games in the last 3 games, I think. But look, it's difficult. They're going to have a lot of close games if they don't shoot a better percentage than they've shot the last 3. I mean, they're only shooting 42% from the field on the season. And the last 3 games, they haven't hit 40% in a game and have still won them.
Leaky Black off to Kerwin Walton, and the freshman knocks down his 3rd 3 of the game.
I know that Florida State wants to keep the ball out of the post, but if you're going to double off of Kerwin Walton, you're going to get hurt. Every time that he's shot it from the catch spot and they've not made him move, he has hit the shot.
Came into the game shooting 44% from 3, and he's 3 for 5 today. Now a team high 11 points on the afternoon.
And he's just getting more, and he's just getting more and more confident as Kerwin Walton.
Walker no. Koprivica flying in to keep it alive, but Black comes up with it for the Tar Heels. Boy, what a good look ahead to Walton. Black has not attempted a shot yet in this game, and now he turns it over.
It didn't come to a jump stop there in order to remain completely under control, but a really good job here of kicking the ball to Kerwin Walton, just getting it to the open man. But Anthony Polite's got to be there on the catch. You cannot let him shoot the ball from the catch spot. Catch and shoot, he is devastatingly good.
Black on Walker, trying to contain him. Now Koprivica starting with the ball about 15 feet from the bucket, working his way into the paint, spins, and a little bit strong off the back of the iron.
Boy, really good footwork by Koprivica. Baycott made him catch the ball, or excuse me, I think it was Brooks made him catch the ball off of that lane line, and still he was able to get all the way into the middle of the lane.
Well, you just know every year Leonard Hamilton's going to have at least one 7-footer, maybe 2, and he's got 2 of them this year.
Well, that's low for him, isn't it?
Koprivica at 7-1 and Gom at 7-2. Carolina turns it over.
No, that was that was a mistake by North Carolina, obviously, but you have to give Florida State some credit there. They made the catch really difficult, trying to extend the catch. The big guys came off the elbows, and all of a sudden the guards came up, and trying to make that catch, Florida State did a great job of making it difficult.
Today begins quite a stretch for the Seminoles. After this game today, we mentioned they're part of Big Monday. They're at Louisville on Monday night, and then next Saturday they're home to Clemson as Koprivica slams it home. The Tigers have already defeated the Seminoles, and now M.J. Walker slow to get up for Florida State. And this is a real concern. Their most experienced player, their leading scorer this season. His mom looking on from the stands. And Walker reaching down, looked like he just tapped the inside of his left ankle, and we don't want to speculate. We'll hope to get a look at a replay that shows us something, as he is slow to get up.
Well, he went up against 2 defenders to make that pass, and oftentimes he just stepped on somebody's foot there. And when there's one guy that leaves the floor and the defenders don't, that's always a dangerous time for an offensive player, because you can step on somebody's foot.
His dad looking on as well. They're already without Scotty Barnes, the outstanding freshman who rolled his ankle against NC State on Wednesday. He is not playing today, and now Walker needing some help to head off the court as he turns his ankle. So a big loss here for the Seminoles. And he'll try to walk it off and see how it feels. Who knows? Maybe he can get back in there. But right now, they're without their leading scorer in MJ Walker.
Just really poor the last couple of inbounds. One at the end of the first half, and right there, North Carolina just gives the ball away. Koprivica stole that.
Sadar Calhoun knocks down a 3, providing some offense as Walker leaves the court. Welcome back. Let's take a look at who is made of more, brought to you by Guinness. And today it has been the senior MJ Walker, who has 14 points, has made 3 of his 4 threes, has knocked down all 3 of his free throws, made a sensational defensive play, got a bucket out of it in the first half. Unfortunately, though, for Walker and the Seminoles, just moments ago, if you were with us, the left foot coming down on the left foot of Armando Bacot, and he rolled his ankle, had to be helped from the court. And now the Seminoles will need to turn to some others to find some offense. He's their guy. He's their, their #1 scorer more often than not. Keep an eye on 24 in white, Sadar Calhoun, a junior college transfer, very athletic, very quick. And it was Calhoun who came into the game and knocked the 3 down right after he replaced Walker just before the timeout.
Yeah, Calhoun has great speed and very quick off the floor. And really wanted to go to Florida State since his high school team went to the University of Virginia to see Florida State play. And he wound up getting his photo taken with Dwayne Bacon after Bacon had that unbelievable game. And just amazing that he's here. I mean, how about Virginia? Invite his high school to come see him play, and he winds up falling in love with the other team.
Meanwhile, for Carolina, Jay, that's 4 turnovers already in the second half after that shot clock violation.
After having done such a great job in the first half of taking care of the ball.
Calhoun misses the shot, and then Gray is called for the foul.
Yeah, minimal contact there, but Caleb Love did a really good job of selling that call. He knew that he was behind him, and the official was behind Gray.
I know we say this every single year the first time we do a Florida State game, but Leonard Hamilton never ages. Never.
It's unbelievable, really.
It is.
He doesn't look any different now except for the hair than he did 20 years ago.
Love finds Walton. Walton's made some big shots for the Tar Heels today. Love's knocked down a couple of threes. Leaky Black is open and misses the 3. And it belongs to the Seminoles.
So many different guys from Florida State can handle the ball, so they can just rip and run. They grab a rebound. The guy that grabs it can bring it up. Don't have to waste time making an outlet.
Including this guy, Raekwon Gray. He hands off to Calhoun. And Evans regroups with 5 on the shot clock. It's a tough shot off over Black. It won't go. Koprivica keeps it alive and is fouled. A timeout on the floor. Florida State leading Carolina by 6. The start of a big day of college basketball here on ESPN. Kentucky at Auburn coming up at the top of the undefeated Bears. Remember, Kansas beat them down in Waco last year. What a great matchup this will be between 2 of the top teams in the country, Kansas and Baylor. Monday night from Waco, Mr. Billis and I will be there. We are proud to say, excited to say, happy to say.
And not wearing that suit.
No. Keep an eye here on the left arm right there of Koprivica. The left arm into the side of the head of Garrison Brooks. And we are told the officials are at the monitor having a look to try to decide if there should be a call here. So we are now being told they have taken away the personal foul that was assessed to Garrison Brooks, and that a foul has been called on Koprivica. But we were trying to find out, is it a common foul or a flagrant one?
It's got to be a flagrant one. If it's not, there's no such thing.
Right, you can't take away a common from one guy and give a common to the other guy.
Last play of the quarter was changed from it's now a common foul on number 5, also Koprivica.
No, they can't evidently. It's a common foul from what I just heard the PA announcer say. And again, Jay and I are not physically at the arena, so working from afar a little bit. So take away the foul from Brooks and assess a common foul on Koprivica.
2-2-1 3/4 court pressure for Florida State now, trying to just slow the advance and take a little time off the clock. Boy, really surprised that that wasn't a flagrant one. You know, that was not a basketball play, as they say.
Davis, and what a job by Gray at 6'8", 260 to stay in front of him. But Walton is the guy left open again, and he makes him pay again.
And all because Leaky Black took a look at the basket and drew the defense to him. But, you know, if you're Florida State, wouldn't you have rather have Leaky Black taking that three than Kerwin Walton, who again shoots it from the exact same spot at which he caught it? Like, that just can't happen if you're Florida State.
At this point, do you have to have just a blanket don't help off Kerwin Walton no matter what the situation is?
Yeah, I think in the scouting report you'd say if you're closing out to Walton, you have made a mistake. There should be no closeouts. You should be so close to him that there's no closeout. Now watch Leaky Black on this play. He looks at the basket and the defense reacts to it. Takes a look at the basket, boom, they come to him instead of where they should have gone initially, and that's Kerwin Walton, because he's the real threat from three. And he didn't get a shot where he could take that much time since warm-ups. And he's been knocking every shot that he's had where he shot it from the catch spot, the same spot from which he caught it, or at which he caught it, he's nailed it.
Walton with 4 threes, 14 points in the game, helping to keep Carolina in it. They're down by 5. Great pass, and then Koprivica is fouled by Walker Kessler as he tried to slam it home.
And how nice is it to see MJ Walker back on the floor. But what a terrific job of keeping the dribble instead of picking it up right underneath the basket, keeping the dribble and just taking a little bit further where you had that opening for the pocket pass.
So the 7'1" sophomore Balša Koprivica from Serbia at the line for Florida State.
Koprivica,
great news. I'm sorry, go ahead, Jay.
Well, Koprivica is reputed to have learned English from American television. Now, if you were going to learn English from American TV, which show would you want to watch the most?
That's a great question.
I mean, if I had to learn English from TV when I was a kid, I would call everybody Little Buddy, because I watched a lot of Gilligan's Island.
Okay, that's fair. I was a Hill Street Blues guy. Loved Hill Street Blues. You learn English by watching Hill Street Blues. You're going to get thrown out of film session in class a little bit for some of your language. Koprivica running the floor. How about a 7'1" guy getting down the floor in a heartbeat, and the lead's up to 9.
Koprivica is just getting better and better. And here's another run out.
Another turnover. Evans, Koprivica again, and he'll go to the free throw line.
North Carolina not making pass fakes. And Evans just able to shoot the gap. Here's the first one. And a terrific job to hit Koprivica running right down the middle of the floor. Great, he just outran Walker Kessler. Just a great job by Koprivica. And the second one, North Carolina just making a lane line to lane line pass, and a lazy one.
Lots more college basketball action coming your way. If you haven't seen Sharif Cooper of Auburn, huge numbers in his first 2 games with the Tigers. They'll host Kentucky right after us today here on ESPN, and then at 4 o'clock, number 2 undefeated Baylor is in Lubbock to take on the Red Raiders, who, thanks to that shot by Mac McClung, are coming off a huge win over the Texas Longhorns their last time out. Just some great action today. Gonzaga plays tonight. Also Virginia at Clemson at 6 o'clock in another big ACC matchup. Davis with a runner.
He's going to be a really good player. He's good now, but he's going to be really good. He's got such a good stroke, and he's so quick in the open floor. And Davis shot it really well in early season practices for North Carolina. But look, I think one of the things the pandemic has done is it's been really difficult for really young players like Caleb Love and R.J. Davis. You know, they didn't have much of a summer working with their coaches at North Carolina, and then didn't have exhibition games, and didn't have a lot of early season games, more of sort of the cupcake variety where you can sort of get your feet under you. And that's been, look, everybody's going through it the same, but it's much more difficult for younger players.
Davis coming off a 12-point effort against Syracuse during the week, finds Day'Ron Sharpe, and the big fella knows what to do with that.
Boy, how about that catch? You know, MJ Walker got switched off on him, was fronting him, and a really good job by Davis to get that angle and drop that ball off to him. It's a beautiful catch.
And now a steal by Kessler. Big momentum shift here in the last minute or so. Walton inside, won't go. Sharpe the follow, won't go. And now the Seminoles have it.
One of the reasons Florida State able to get out of there without giving up a bucket, they made Walton put the ball on the deck. Not only are they trading 3 for 2 that way, but all of a sudden Walton's got to make a floater in the lane over size on the run rather than shooting it from the catch spot.
And Gum back into the game for Florida State, being held by Kessler right now.
Better get out of the lane. He's been in there 8
battling
seconds.
down in the paint. The save, and Gum has it. And it'll still be Florida State's ball as it goes out of bounds.
And Gum never left the lane on that last possession. I mean, his feet were in red for at least 7 seconds.
Walker open on the inbounds. Got it.
He just shot that behind. He had 3 guys along the free throw line, and he just shot behind a wall of Florida State teammates.
That's his 4th 3 of the game. The ankle's obviously something he can deal with, and he's got 17 now to lead the Seminoles. An answer at the other end by R.J. Davis.
North Carolina's hanging in there. Now, this team is going to be good before the end of the season.
Osborne for 3. And both teams really firing from 3-point range right now. Carolina's 8 for 19, and Florida State is 7 for 14.
Yeah, Malik Osborne needed that one. That's just his second 3 of the season.
10-point lead, Seminoles, 11:18 to go. Still to come, Jalen Williams and Auburn taking on Kentucky. Top of the hour right here on ESPN. 2 distinguished gentlemen right there. Roy Williams on the left, Leonard Hamilton on the right. The first time they met was back in the 80s. And if you don't believe me, look at the ties they're wearing. Those ties are screaming 1980s right now. But 2 guys who have been at this a long time. One guy's in the Hall of Fame. That's Roy Williams. One guy, Leonard Hamilton, is on the ballot as a nominee for the first time this year. And just 2 of the, and I know you feel the same way, Jay, 2 of the guys that we love to get us a chance to talk to every time we do one of their games. They're both wonderful gentlemen.
2 of the all-time great guys, obviously great coaches, but North Carolina gets a score off this, off a broken play, but Carolina's struggling to get the ball in bounds when they go to out of bounds underneath, or when they've had to inbound it off of a score.
Andrew Platek with his first points of the game, and Anthony Harris is in the game for North Carolina, number 0. Missed all of last season with a torn ACL. This is his first competitive action, or almost all of last season. First competitive action in over a year, December of 2019, I believe, the last time that he played in a game. And that was him feeding Brooks, who gets the bucket.
A great job by North Carolina to get the ball up court quickly And then Garrison Brooks, just a rim run right down the middle, made a difficult catch and able to finish that play. Good job by R.J. Davis to pass the ball ahead. And then that's an excellent pass. I mean, I don't think that Roy Williams wanted both Walker Kessler and Garrison Brooks running right on top of each other, but Brooks never took his eyes off the rim and still finished through that contact.
And going right over to Harris and thanking him for that pass. Harris played in 5 games last year, missed the first 8, recovering from a left knee injury that he suffered in high school, then played in 5 games in December, and then tore his ACL, his right ACL, in a game against Yale, December the 30th, 2019. So just over a year between action for Anthony Harris.
I think that was right after I saw North Carolina play at Gonzaga, and Harris actually had a good game against Gonzaga. He wound up with 8 points. His high last year, I think, was 14 against UCLA. But, you know, one of the reasons you saw Garrison Brooks go over to him, not just the great pass, but Garrison Brooks has great empathy for his teammates. He knows it's important for Harris to be back on the floor.
And Harris would have gotten another assist had Baycott not been fouled there. So Harris with a lot of impact in this game already.
Well, he's making North Carolina play faster in transition.
Third foul on Raekwon Gray. Harris, a 6'4" redshirt freshman from Woodbridge, Virginia. And, you know, you mentioned earlier J. Cole Anthony was injured for a while last year, and that obviously hurt them a lot. But they had a number of other players go down with injuries, and Harris was one of them. It was really at times a depleted lineup for Roy Williams last year because of the health situation.
And that's one of the reasons I think Roy Williams is playing more players this year than maybe he would in a quote-unquote normal year, is because what Carolina went through last year. He wants guys to be prepared in case somebody does have an injury, given what happened to his roster last year.
Evans driving and draws the foul. Well, he's got the ability to get into the paint when he puts his mind to it.
He's a talented player, and he just keeps getting better.
He was a guy Leonard Hamilton spoke about on his Zoom call with the media yesterday, and saying, you know, with all the great players that have moved on, Vassell and Forrest and Williams and others, he said we need guys to step up into that top tier to make big plays in big moments. You know, MJ Walker is one of those guys, but Leonard Hamilton said that Raekwon Evans has to be one of those guys as well. Not that he hasn't been, not that he's not living up to expectations, but he says we need to be able to count on him for his maturity, his experience, and his ability to make plays at big moments.
Well, he's a ball mover when he's in there, and I think a very good on-ball defender. He can get up under you, and he can shoot it off the dribble on the offensive end, and he's been much more aggressive. You can see he's in a good place because of how he's played the last 3 games.
Love with his 3rd 3 of the game, and yet another assist for Anthony Harris.
Love is playing well offensively because he is taking everything, for the most part, within the rhythm of the offense. He's not forcing anything.
And now Harris draws a charge.
You know, after the last game against Syracuse, one of the things that Caleb Love did was he got in the gym after everyone had left, and he got some extra work in. And you know that his teammates and his coaches want things to go well for him, but he wants it too, and he's willing to work for it. And things have not been easy, but he keeps plugging.
The first time this year, Caleb Love has knocked down 3 threes in a game, and it's got Carolina back within 4. Sleep on the Cardinals, quietly up to 16 in the rankings, getting healthier. They've only lost once this season. And then at 9 o'clock Eastern, it's an ESPN Sonic blockbuster. Kansas, Baylor in Waco, 9 o'clock Eastern. Both games also available on the ESPN app.
You know, Baylor has the best defense in the country, but one of the reasons that they're a prohibitive favorite to win the national championship, their offense is outstanding. I mean, one of the best three-point shooting teams in the country.
Now you're right, everybody focuses on their defense. They're 4th in the country, according to Ken Palm, in offensive efficiency. Gonzaga, Iowa, Villanova, and then Baylor.
Baylor's the only team in the top 5 in both offensive and defensive efficiency.
Correct. Michigan, the only other team that's in the top 10 in both of those categories. Koprivica whips a pass to Osborne, and eventually a foul committed by the Tar Heels. I think they got Leaky Black.
Well, I really like Koprivica. He's talented and just oozing with potential and starting to really realize on that potential. It's 7-1 from Serbia. He made a big jump from last year in his rebounding, certainly his effort and conditioning, but also his technique. I mean, last year they were working with him on catch it, chin it, like put it under your chin with your elbows out and just explode up. But he's really expanded his game this year.
That foul, Jay, the fourth on Leaky Black. How about that play by Caleb Love?
Maybe learn something from MJ Walker. That's almost identical to the play that MJ Walker made in the first half on a long pass on an inbound by North Carolina. That was a great play by Caleb Love. He's really having a good game.
And the Tar Heels, after trailing by as many as 11, have it back down to 2.
That catch that Walker just made on the perimeter, I mean, he walked with it. I mean, he had 3 different pivot feet when he caught the ball. The referees never call that stuff on the perimeter, but then want to call stuff on dribble moves when you're going to the basket. It's hard to imagine.
Malik Osborne knocks down his second 3 of the game. Came into the game, as Jay mentioned earlier, with just 1 on the season. He's got 2 today.
That long pass, terrific job by Caleb Love. That's really great feel to be able to knock that the other way. He watched it the whole way and knocked it away from Walker. Couldn't have known exactly where he was, but he had a feel for it. And you can see the potential that Caleb Love has as a player. He wasn't ranked in the top 20 among players last year for nothing. He can really play. But as he's one of the things about North Carolina's system, it is not easy to pick up right away. And you know, some players can do it right away, but they're the exception. And usually for players, it takes a little bit of time.
And you look at the 3 freshman guards, Walton, Love, Davis. They're all in double figures today, Jay. They've combined for 37 points.
Yeah, really an impressive performance in a very difficult place to play.
Evans, no. And it stays Florida State ball with 7:54 to go. We got a good one with the Seminoles leading Carolina by 3. A Big Ten update when we come back. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by H&R Block. Their experts can do your taxes virtually. Get your taxes done without leaving home.
Cooper dropped a cool 54 in his first 2 career games for Bruce Pearl's Tigers. Auburn and Kentucky coming up next.
And we're looking forward to that one. Thank you, Reese. Here we got a good 7:54 still to come, with a 3-point lead for the Seminoles over the Tar Heels.
And here's that walk where you're talking pivot foot and then another pivot foot. And that was a forced turnover that wasn't called. And remember, Florida State hit a 3 on that possession. And the reason I brought it up, Dan, is that happens so many times a game. And I think we're over officiating like jump stops, step backs, and all that stuff when we're not even calling simple pivot foot changes on the perimeter.
So you're saying a pivot foot is okay, pivot feet is against the rules.
It is against the rules. And that happens 10, 12 times a game and goes completely uncalled. Great job by Florida State to force the ball down court. Boy, North Carolina, that was a 4-point swing there. North Carolina had a very good opportunity to score on their end, and then it turns into an easy basket the other way. Just a terrific job here by MJ Walker, because he knew he had an angle on Kerwin Walton that he wasn't established, so he could go right into his body, and any contact is going to be a foul. Just a great play by a senior.
Roy Williams not pleased, and MJ Walker, you wouldn't know that he rolled his ankle what looked like pretty badly in the first half. Has come back and continues to play well, looking for his 20th point of the game right here. And Florida State remains perfect at the free throw line today, 18 for 18, and they were 11 for 11 Wednesday against North Carolina State. They haven't missed a free throw their last 2 games.
It's really unbelievable how efficient they've been. That game against NC State, I mean, they had a 15-day layoff, came back, shot 71% in that game. I mean, that's a great advertisement for taking some time off.
Ball knocked away. Another Carolina turnover.
Great play by Raekwon Gray.
Ball screen, Koprivica, polite the kick. Gray driving, runner, got it. Pretty offense.
Really nice adjustment by Florida State to really spread the floor. And they were able to not only spread the floor, but they stretched the North Carolina defense, gave them a better opportunity after a few passes to really drive it.
And now Walker comes over and takes it away again.
You have to watch not just the man you're passing it to and his defender, but you have to watch behind him. And that was like a great defensive back reading the eyes of the quarterback. He was behind Bacot when he was posting up, and as soon as that ball went in the air, Walker was there. That's a terrific job. Watch Walker, number 23, came over. Now, Bacot thought he had it done, but that's not Bacot's fault. That's the passer's fault, because you have to watch not just the man you're throwing it to and his defender, you have to watch behind him as well.
What a game for M.J. Walker. 20 points, a couple of assists, a big steal there. And Carolina, they've been knocking on the door a couple of times, but every time they get close, they will turn it over, and it winds up in a bucket at the other end for the Seminoles, so they just can't quite get over the hump. Sharp, a little bit strong, and Wyatt Wilkes down with a rebound for Florida State.
And he'll do this going forward, but Day'Ron Sharp needed to take that ball and dunk it. You know, and if Wyatt Wilkes wants to stay there, then go through him and make him take a charge.
Walker guarded by Harris. Koprivica, the assist to Walker, and the lead is 10.
Boy, a little bit late getting Koprivica the ball. He was wide open on the roll, but because Carolina had two guys on the ball, couldn't really see him. Great cut by Anthony Harris. That was beautiful.
And a great feed by Day'Ron Sharp to make it an 8-point game.
But Sharp really is a good passer, isn't he? Good awareness.
He is.
Anthony Harris going against the overplay. His defender got a little bit too high up, M.J. Walker, and got an easy bucket. And Day'Ron Sharp, he averages close to 2 assists per game, which for a big guy, you don't want your big guys passing that much when they've got the ability to score close to the basket. But when he gets doubled, he can find the open man. He's got a really good feel for the game, especially for a low post player. Man, is he physically imposing.
It's one thing the Tar Heels are doing well is sharing the ball. They've got 17 assists on 24 buckets and make it 18 on 25 right there. Harris knocks down a 3, and it's a 5-point game.
Carolina has been so much more efficient with Anthony Harris on the floor. He's made some shots, and his passing has been excellent. Passing and cutting. He's done a good job defensively. He's been a big lift. Good pass here. Davis draws Koprivica, just freezes him with that dribble right at him. And then you get a wide open shot in the corner, and Harris was all set to shoot it. Your shot preparation is so important in your shot, and that was excellent shot preparation by Harris.
He's got 5 points and 3 assists in 5 minutes of action. His first action in better than a year.
With that kind of productivity, they ought to play him more.
Yeah.
Got all the answers in here, don't we?
Polite will knock them both down. Florida State still perfect from the line on the days. The lead is 7.
Well, because of North Carolina's youth, Dan, there's not a lot of margin for error. So going down the stretch this last 5 minutes, it's not that the Tar Heels have to play perfect. They don't. But you can't turn the ball over, and you can't give up anything easy.
Roy Williams has R.J. Davis, Anthony Harris, Kerwin Walton in the backcourt, and up front he's got Garrison Brooks and Day'Ron Sharp. Trying to get it into the post. Sharp, bothered by Koprivica, Florida State ball.
Koprivica did a nice job of making Day'Ron Sharpe, when he took that drop step, he had to drop step underneath the basket, so there was no way for him to get back without going through Koprivica's chest. You need to post up just a little bit higher when you initially get the ball.
Still Florida State ball with 4:13 to go. Carolina 3-2 in league play. Florida State 2-1. Both trying to move really into the upper echelon in league standings.
And that signal Roy Williams was making means face guard. That means you're going to try, you're guarding your man without a concern about help side. You're just trying to keep the ball from getting inbounds.
Calhoun with Sharpe on him. Step back jumper. And Walton brings it down and then gets tied up by Raekwon Gray, who's done a little bit of everything here today, hasn't he, Jay?
That's pretty much it. He just described his game. That was perfect. I mean, the 6'8" redshirt junior from Fort Lauderdale, he does it all. He can handle it, goes to the glass on every possession. I mean, he's their leading rebounder, also leads them in steals and top 10 in the ACC.
Davis somehow over a couple of defenders, including Koprivica.
One thing about the pandemic, Dan, without a crowd or without a big crowd, every time, you can hear almost every time player takes the ball to the basket, there's contact and they make it, they yell, "End one." I mean, they're asking for the call from the official. Absolutely. You can hear it now. You can't normally.
Calhoun. Gray had it, and it'll stay with Florida State with 3:29 to go, and the Seminoles up by 5 on Carolina. Olivier Sarr and the Wildcats are at Auburn. You can see that game right after this one. And overall, including this year, they have won 19 consecutive home games in ACC play. And as you can see, that's starting to creep up there as one of the longest in conference history.
I was directly responsible for one of those win streaks, and that was the North Carolina win streak of 19 from 82 to 85. Had I not been playing for Duke, I think that might have been broken. I was responsible for more Carolina wins over Duke than Michael Jordan was.
Well, you still get a Christmas card from Brad Doherty every year to that effect.
I do, actually. Thank you for making me the number one pick.
Right. And Ralph Sampson. I think, like a lot of big guys in the ACC, still reach out to you on an annual basis.
Yeah, I'm revered in my ability to give up career highs to opposing big guys.
Yeah, but before I go further, I'm reminded of the time where you turned to me and said, "Oh yeah, where can I find your stats online?" So,
I do have some pride.
I'm behind here. 4-point lead for Florida State over North Carolina. Dan Shulman in Toronto, Jay Billis giggling in Bristol, Connecticut. We will be reunited in Waco, Texas, Monday night for Kansas and Baylor. We kid because we love. You had, it's 1,000 and something. Sean McDonough always says it. 1,026 points? I can't remember.
62, darn it.
1,062.
Did it right. And I was hurt for 6 games my senior year. Otherwise, it would have been 1,063.
And had he been able to play today in the age of the stretch 4, when he could have gone out on the perimeter and shown some stuff, then we'd really have seen something, right? A 3-point game.
Yeah, 1 possession game, and North Carolina's going to try to put some full court pressure on. There's still a long way to go in this one, and you have to give North Carolina a lot of credit. With a young team, they have come in here and really kept plugging through difficult times to give themselves an opportunity to win down the stretch on the road.
And you can see Roy Williams just made a sub. Leaky Black in for defense. He'll probably get Kerwin Walton back in there for offense. Nearly a turnover. Still plenty of time for the Seminoles. Gray, who's had a great game, kicks it back out.
Got away with a walk.
Evans followed his own miss. Loose ball belongs to Carolina.
Carolina needs to look inside here.
Brooks and Sharpe are the big guys. Sharpe, a very good passer. Cannot get it into Brooks in the post.
Great job by MJ Walker.
Runner no, follow yes. Day'Ron Sharpe makes it a 1-point game.
It is amazing that so many missed shots can be good offense for North Carolina. I mean, Day'Ron Sharpe is a big-time offensive rebounder. What a load he is.
12 offensive rebounds, 14 second chance points for the Tar Heels today.
Still below their average.
Yes, you're right. Gray with a strong, and I do mean strong, drive and finish, and he's got a chance for 3.
That was strength on strength. 2 big bodies. And a good job, like just putting Carolina's big guys in ball screen situations, both of them. And that's one of the great things about having RaiQuan Gray is if you put a big guy on him, he can take him out on the perimeter. You put a smaller guy on him, he'll take him down, bully him in the post. But a great job going right into the body, squaring up to the backboard. And then to block that shot, you've got to go over his body to get there. And he's going to get fouled or score or both.
And Jay, he's now got a career high 17 points in this game. And again, not to belabor the point, but Florida State is a perfect 21 out of 21 now from the free throw line in this game.
And Gray needed to step up and play big without Scotty Barnes in there, who's their leading assist guy and leads the team in steals.
Black
what a block.
Koprivica rejects it.
He blocked that with his right hand over the top of Leaky Black. This is a big-time block and a big-time recovery. You thought maybe he caught him in the head there, but he got the ball. And he really didn't get maybe he got some of the hair, but he didn't get him in the head. He's lucky that one of the officials wasn't there because that could have been a taunting call right afterwards. Yeah. But if I blocked a shot like that, you'd never hear the end of it.
He was fired up, and a good job by MJ Walker. Came over, put his arm around him, and you could see was saying to him, come on, big fella, that was great, but big picture here, can't get a technical. Gray down with a rebound, inside a minute and a half to go. The Seminoles with the ball and a 4-point lead.
Give credit there to Raekwon Evans for the defense played. Really put a lot of pressure on that shot from the side.
And because Gray can handle so well, he brings Brooks way out on the perimeter. Gets the switch on to Sharp, puts it up, no good. And Sharp down with it for the Heels.
Great job by Sharp to defend without fouling.
Davis cut off by Koprivica. Brooks into Sharp, knocked away by Gray, and it's Florida State ball.
What a play. That's got to be Carolina's ball because MJ Walker was out of bounds when he touched the ball. That was a good call. Boy, what a play by Gray to knock that ball away. He saved a bucket on a great pass from Garrison Brooks. Garrison Brooks just looked like he was going up for a shot and got it inside to Sharp. That was a big-time play to knock it away. Carolina's had a hard time getting the ball in bounds on out-of-bounds underneath. First thing is get it in.
It'll be Love to inbound with 46 seconds to go. Officials trying to get the Florida State bench to sit down before they put the ball back in play. And now it looks like Roy Williams wants to use a timeout. We mentioned how close every single Carolina game in a conference play has been. Their first 5 all decided by 6 points or fewer. And it looks like this one could fall into the same category. Is it too early to talk bracketology here in the middle of January? It's a jumbled up ACC right now, and obviously a ton can change in the next 7 weeks or so. But Joey Brackets has Clemson and Louisville both as 4s. Virginia Tech, Virginia, Florida State solidly in the field. And then Duke is a last 4 bye. Carolina last 4 in. And then Syracuse and NC State on the outside looking in right now.
Yeah, because the Big Ten, the Big 12, and I would say even the Big East are so good this year. And the ACC, the traditional powers, Duke, North Carolina, not quite as powerful as they've been. It's going to be a little bit more difficult for ACC teams to move up those seed lines. I mean, it's extraordinary to have the top teams in the ACC listed on the 4 line. I mean, you can't imagine that staying that way, but it might.
One final in the ACC. They just went final in Pittsburgh. The Panthers hung a 20-point loss on Syracuse. They scored 64 points in the second half and beat Syracuse 96-76. Love the kick to Walton, trying to get the 3 off. He can't do it. Back to Love.
Good job by Polite to make him bounce it.
Into Sharp, won't stay down, follow no good. Seminoles ball, and now they got a foul.
That's a game-winning play by Anthony Polite to make Walton put the ball on the deck, not let him shoot it from the catch spot where he was so successful throughout most of the game. And then Florida State, Dan, just gang rebounding. I mean, they know the game's on the line when every shot goes up for North Carolina, because a missed shot is still offense for the Tar Heels. A lot of teams it's not, but for the Tar Heels it is.
Yeah, if you said to Leonard Hamilton before the game, you'll battle them to a standstill on the glass, which they have done right now, 29-29, he would take that. And their first missed free throw of the game. In fact, in the last 2 games, and it comes from a guy shooting over 90% of the season, but Walker's had a great game, that missed free throw notwithstanding.
Yeah, if they were an all-ACC team mid-season, he'd be one of the guards on it. He's been that good. The other would be Carlik Jones of Louisville. How good has he been?
Yeah, Jones is a Wooden Award midseason candidate. Louisville at Miami tonight on the ACC network. 1 of 2 for Walker, 5-point game. Carolina needs a quick score. Walton has it partially blocked by Raekwon Gray. Who else?
Well, that was a freshman decision by Walton and rushed. There was still plenty of time to get a good shot, and that wasn't what Roy Williams wanted. But
Carolina's 3-game winning streak, barring an incredible miracle here in the next 8.5 seconds. Carolina's 3-game winning streak will come to a close as they will drop to 3-3 in league play.
And Dan, I know Roy Williams doesn't want to hear this because he doesn't think about moral victories, but there were some really good things from North Carolina out of this game, and some things that the Tar Heels can really build on against an excellent Florida State team.
Carolina will head home. They play Wake Forest on Wednesday night. You can see that on the ACC network. And then North Carolina State next Saturday on ESPN. They'll try to avenge an earlier defeat to the Wolfpack. Five-point game with 8.4 to go.
Gray can run the baseline here. You just want to get the ball inbounds safely.
And a foul will send Evans to the line with 7.1 seconds to go. Really, Walker and Gray leading the way today for the Seminoles. They combined for 40 points in this game. A career-high 19 for Raekwon Gray. And when you add in the deflections and the steals and the block and the assists and everything else that Gray did, boy, both of them just had terrific games this afternoon.
Yeah, Gray had a really good game against North Carolina last year. He had 12.7 rebounds against the Tar Heels, and he plays a mature game. And you talk about players being versatile all the time about what they can do, but Gray's versatile because of what he does every game. I mean, he shows his versatility with all the different things that he does, not all the different things he can do.
Don't go anywhere. Kentucky and Auburn next here on ESPN. Just 7 seconds left in this one.
And if you haven't seen Sharif Cooper for Auburn, only been playing a few games now. Just got eligible through the clearinghouse and sort of the NCAA, but he's legit, man.
Something like 54 points and 21 assists in his first 2 games. Leonard Hamilton and Roy Williams bid each other for farewell for now. The Seminoles beat North Carolina 82-75. For Jay Billis and our crew, thanks for watching. I'm Dan Schulman. Let's send you to the next game now. Kentucky and Auburn with